I attended 2 or 3 of the sign committee meetings last year before they got their extension, and I didn't have any. It was the strangest committee meetings I've ever seen. I didn't think they were going to come up with anything, so I wasn't really worried about it. And then they got this extension, and they had this. I understand this same bunch of hysterical people coming and complaining at every meeting. But so last week I heard they brought this proposed ordinance up, so I read the ordinance and I could not believe what you cooked up. It's the most anti-business proposal you could imagine. And so then I went and looked at the resolution that seated this committee. And Mr. Bladorn, if you haven't seen his op-ed in the Tribune Sunday, summed it up real well. You know, the committee was seated to study the safety and health effects of digital billboards technology. So this whole thing was deceptive. For a year and a half now, the average businessman thought this was just something to regulate Olympus Media's digital billboards. And then this sign committee produces this thing that affects the majority of every business in this county or city. And so I think this ordinance is a complete mess. The committee is an utter failure. So I think you should throw this proposed ordinance out, reseat a committee with proper direction, and see if they can come up with something decent. That's really all I have.
Any questions for the speaker? Thank you for coming. Next speaker wishing to speak in opposition is Tracy Weber, 1006 Farnham Street, representing Four Sisters.
Good evening. I am one of the sisters from Four Sisters, and I just want to bring some food for thought. I appreciate all the hard work and consideration that you've done, but being a fairly new business owner in the downtown area, I can tell you that we have experienced with signage and people not being able to find us. It has been a contention with us since we opened, which is going to be 2 years in November. When we did open, we had 2 signs that were about this high, maybe even a little lower, in the Riverside and on the city side. And there were so many times that people could not find Four Sisters. We would get phone calls, we would have people coming in, and I personally walk around and talk to people when they come, visitors from out of town. How did you find us? How did you hear about us? One of our biggest things is a billboard on 3rd Street that says Four Sisters right at the stop sign. I can tell you, we do have a monument now, and when that parking lot is full with 200 employees and visitors at the restaurant, that you cannot see the monument sign coming down the street. So unless you're at the stop sign, right by the radio place there, you can't see our monument, which states Four Sisters Wine Bar and Tapas Restaurant. I'm all about downtown La Crosse and how it looks aesthetically. It is a great city and a great view, and there's so much happening with the revitalization of downtown. But I would like you to consider that when people are driving, and especially visitors, and how many visitors do we have that come into the city during the summer alone? They are looking ahead. They're looking for the place. And I can tell you, just the other day, I was speaking with a woman who was visiting from the Radisson. She was staying at the Radisson. And as you all know, the Radisson is right next to Four Sisters. And we have a monument and 2 signs right now. And she said, I couldn't find you. I couldn't find you. So I think signage is relative to where you are, where you're located, and your businesses, and especially to the downtown area. Thank you.
Any questions for the speaker? Thank you for coming. We have 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in the public hearing for the opponents. Next speaker is Pamela Eddy, 427 South 23rd. And you have 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
Thank you, Chairman. I do work for Olympus. I've been on the business side of it. I've been on the sales side of it. And I just want to let you know that as a business and part of it, I used signage previously. I worked for a wholesale company here in La Crosse. The product that we actually put on the sign doubled in sales, and it doubled the showroom traffic, so it doubled our traffic in general and our business. I also like to know that when I'm out there, everybody's not happy one way or the other. We can't please everybody, but just consider the businesses that do need the signage, the setback businesses, the businesses that are in the bigger buildings downtown that you may or may not see, just like Four Sisters. I know I'm an avid person that goes down there, I love it down there because of the beauty that it does show. But most considering is, everybody's seen the GPS commercial for the insurance guy, turn right now here. That's what's gonna happen if we're not maintaining that beautified area that everybody likes to see. So my concern is just as a traveler that's coming in a place that they're not comfortable with or knowing where they're going, and that's a 10-foot or a 14-foot, and there's a tree in the way, and oh my gosh, I missed my turn, and everybody's got GPSs in their phones and stuff like that. Let's really consider that. Isn't it poor to look down at a phone and try to figure out where your GPS is telling you to go, than to up and see the sign? I guess that's just how I see it. I've been on both sides of the world. I do like our beautiful across, and I don't want to disturb that. But I also think it's right for the businesses to be able to put up what they need their customers to see.
Any questions for the speaker? Okay, thank you for coming. Next speaker wishing to speak in opposition, we have one minute, 1 second left, is Ron Clark, and 1706 Elizabeth Way.
I can do this. I understand this is a difficult issue, but the answer is not overreaching, overly broad, extreme sweeping measures like this. Have you ever been to Baltimore, D.C.? I have. If you don't know where you're going, good luck on finding where you want to go. It's a beautiful place, but you can't find a business. It's all trees and sidewalks, and nice and pretty, but you're not going to find where you're looking to go. And especially out-of-towners, they're never going to have any hope. They don't know there's a steakhouse across the tree barrier. They don't know there's a restaurant or a business, or you know where to go when you can see a sign. The 14-foot, I think, is absurd. That actually invites vandalism, and they're not very visible. I wish that the committee would really consider tabling this and reconvening and putting forth some measures that actually make sense and don't cripple the business community in the cross. Thank you.
Any questions for the speaker? Seeing none? And then I have 10 seconds left. Next speaker is Ted Woodward, N22132 Wolf, Ryan Lane, Gillsville. This will have to be a quick one unless the council extends time. 10 seconds, sir.
Well, thank you. I'll take my 10 seconds and ask the question. The city of La Crosse just put out a bid request for a sign at the business park, the International Business Park, for a new sign. And it's 219 square feet in size. That's all I have to say.
Okay, any questions for the speaker? Okay, we will move over to the rebuttal side from the proponents. The rules are 3 minutes per side, so you can divide that up any way you want, a maximum of 3 minutes. Is there anybody from the proponents? Okay, Marie Friedland is stepping forward.
Thank you. If I was to sum, it would be, this is what citizens want. It's good for business. It's moderate and reasonable, and it's best practices. Specifically addressing some of the opposed